if you are thinking about selling a property in 2026 or buying a property in 2026, these are the things that I will take in consideration. Where you can get money from. A lot of cities, counties, and even private lenders are offering credits and grants that you can get yourself access to, either down payment or closing cost. House hacking. You can buy yourself a multifamily as a primary residence and get all the benefits that a primary buyer would get as far as the loan and others. Things that you're looking in a house, what I would look into, what are the things that I can settle for now, buy now, and later on use that first property as the property that would help me build equity to then purchase the one that I really want. Pricing. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Price is the number one factor that will help you sell your property. Alright. So today I wanted to have a candid and very casual conversation and let you know different pointers on what I think you should consider if you are thinking about selling a property in 2026 or buying a property in 2026, considering the current landscape on the real estate market today. So first of all, if you were to buy a property in 2026, these are the things that I will take in consideration. Number one is look into where you can get money from, grants. A lot of cities, counties, and even private lenders are offering credits and grants that you can get yourself access to for either down payment or for closing costs. So I will look into that. Why? Because as you know, the interest rates are not as favorable as they were a couple years ago. The more money you can gather yourself, you can pay off debt, buy down interest rates, you can cover closing costs, repairs, and others. Again, there's a lot of incentive out there. Not all the properties are going to have access to those. It's a case by case. But if I were you in 2026, I would look into those, and usually your preferred real estate agent would know better about those. Another thing that I would do if I were to buy my house, my first house again, it's do what it's known as house hacking. What is house hacking? If you buy yourself a multifamily, you can actually buy yourself a multifamily as a primary residence and get all the benefits that a primary buyer would get as far as the loan and others and the terms in general. I will live in one of the units and then rent the other one. It could go as simple as a duplex. I will buy a duplex if obviously budget allows and the terms and everything. I will live in one unit and then with the rent of the other side, it will pay for the entirety of the mortgage or at least help a lot with it. So that would be something that I would look into, especially in this market that the reality is that in most cases prices have been coming down. Another thing that I tell buyer, and this is in any market, sometimes I feel that first-time home buyers create this vision about what's their dream home and it has to check all these boxes before they buy, and that's where they extend that timeline on becoming a homeowner. Crazy enough, I do believe that there's a good amount of people I've helped in the past buy properties that they reach out to me. I try to help them in a particular market, a particular situation. They're not getting what they want, but then ended up buying a couple of years later because maybe they have to, because they got tired and they want to stop being a tenant. They ended up buying a more pricey property or not necessarily in the best market conditions. Rather than getting your full checklist of what are the things that you're looking in a house, what I would look into, what are the things that I can settle for now, buy now, and later on use that first property as the property that would help me build equity to then purchase the one that I really want, the one of my dreams. So those are tips, some of the tips that I will give you if you were to be purchasing a property in 2026, especially in the real estate landscape that we're seeing today. Now, On the other hand, if you were to be thinking or planning of selling a property in 2026, these are a couple of things that I will consider too. Number one, price. Pricing. Yesterday price is not today's price. Okay? Tomorrow's price is not today's price. Take that in consideration. I know that if you don't do this often, if you're not a real estate agent, if you're not a real estate investor, if you don't do anything real estate related, you might not have a pulse on what's happening on the market, and maybe only get information based on a few headlines that you see out there, right? The reality is this: interest rates have gone up in the recent years, and then has make the market slow down in comparison to a few years back, and that has caused raising in the inventory, way more properties for sale than buyers buying. So majority of the areas, majority of the properties has had to go down in value. So more than likely your property too. And I know that firsthand because I do sell a lot of good properties, meaning fully renovated, best of the products, best in the markets. And I price it what I consider right based on what I see as far as value in comparison to other properties I have sold recently. And I'm still struggling to move that inventory. If your house is not fully renovated and you're not pricing it lower in majority of the cases than what the market is telling you, then more than likely you're going to encounter the same situation that I have, which is having to be sitting in the market for 30, 60 days, maybe more, and have to do multiple price reductions to be able to move that property. So anyways, price. If you're thinking a specific number, drop it 5-10% more than that if you are urgent to sell your property. Comes down to also to timeline, but the reality is this: price is the number one factor that will help you sell your property. Yes, marketing helps, open houses, yard signs, all the marketing and the agent, the negotiation, the skill of your agent influence a bunch. But as far as selling the property with the least amount of effort for the fastest amount of time, price is the number one factor that will help you. That was 20 years ago, that's today, that's gonna be tomorrow, okay? So price it right. Another thing that I would consider if selling my property in 2026 is be flexible. Be flexible. What I mean by that is don't get set on specific things during the negotiation, because a lot can happen. Because of the same thing of inventory being high, buyers have the power of the negotiation at any given time. They're gonna ask for things. Don't get surprised if they come with an offer lower than you have a price at, even having a price right in your opinion, and they come at you with a lower price point. They come at you asking for a seller credit. They come at you asking for repairs from the get-go. Come at you and ask for furniture pieces that you like, that you're attached emotionally, because right now they can ask for a lot of stuff. You're not obligated to give it to them, but the reality is this: if you want to sell your property fast for the least amount of hassle, you have to be flexible. That doesn't mean that you have to give in with all the terms that they request, but you have to be open to at least negotiate. Remember, price it very right. Most of the times, maybe under market, depending on your time urgency. Be open to negotiate stuff. Closing costs, like I said, negotiating furniture, negotiating repairs. Be open to anything, right? Even throwing a pizza at the closing table for your buyer. Whatever it is, get creative. Or if your realtor is asking for you to get creative, be open to that, okay? And then pay good attention to the market. Right now, what I've experienced personally too, with my inventory at any given time, it's a case by case. I'm seeing pockets. There are neighborhoods with a high inventory at any given time, which I know that it would take longer and more efforts to move a property, to sell a property, and others that are not necessarily experiencing that. At any given time, you're going to encounter competition. You're going to have your neighbor selling their house, and you realize it or not, theirs might be in better shape. they might offer it for less than you are offering. So yours, it's going to sit down for a little longer. So at any given time, pay attention to the market. Listen to your realtor if you believe that they're a professional. I would assume that if you hire them, it's because you trust in their expertise, because they are a professional and you trust that they will get the job done. But if it's not the case, if you don't know anybody that will get the job done, well, I am here for that. If you're looking to buy or sell a property in 2026, I'm your guy. I want to help you. Feel free to reach out directly to me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. If you like this content, don't forget to subscribe.